So the Brussels sprouts are back out of the oven. I'd given them another 10 minutes so that they really got caramelized and crispy on the outer leaves, but nice and soft all the way through. So when you bite into these, they're just going to be like soft and delicious and crispy and caramelized on the outside and just squishy and goodness on the inside. In 45 minutes to an hour is right about the right time if you've got it on 450, 475. My oven gets pretty hot, so that gives me just enough time to either wash the sink full of dishes like I did today, or, one episode of True Blood and watching some of Vampire Bill. That's what I would do otherwise. Serving these, they're perfect hot. Cold, I'll snack on them, heck, at breakfast, but they're great to take on a picnic if you need to, or in the car, because they hold up really well. There's no butter or anything like that to get rancid. When I serve these, I like to do a squeeze of fresh lemon juice right over the top, right before I serve them, or before I put them in the fridge, and then they're good to go that way. Other ways you can serve them is to caramelize up some onions and mix them in with that. You could even roast onions and garlic in here, but I like the contrast of the caramelized onions if I was going to mix that in there. Another thing that's really good is to cook in some cranberries and onions together. Do almost like a saute of those. You don't need to do them in any kind of seasoning except for maybe a little oil, and then just mix those in there, and the cranberries get really soft and they're a good contrast with them as well. The great thing about Brussels sprouts is they're really good with any kind of citrusy or tart fruit that you want to contrast them with, because they've got a great green flavor. So you're all invited over. I'm going to have Brussels sprouts all winter long. And these do not just make an appearance actually around Thanksgiving time. I had never had Brussels sprouts really until this year, and I'd always wondered, I've heard negative things about them, and I think the problem is because of how people cook them. And this is definitely my experience with a lot of vegetables. Personally growing up, I didn't really like them, but now that I've been making them for myself, especially roasting them, I just love them so much more. So give it a shot, even if you haven't had them before, and tell me what you think. Thanks. Bye.